Whip now, Mr. John Barrasso, Senator Barrasso, Majority Whip Barrasso. I like the sound of that. Happy New Year to you, sir. Thanks for coming back on.
Great to be with you, Larry. Thank you.
All right, so you're a longtime member of the Foreign Relations Committee in the Senate. So I just want to get your take on this. You may have heard my opening riff and some of my concerns about this story. I love it that the hostages will be released, or hopefully, but I'm just not sure about the rest of the story, Senator Barrasso. Can you help me out, sir?
Well, I agree with you, Larry, and what you had to say. I don't know the details either. Good news, if the hostages get released, we can't stop until all of them are released. And the big picture of this is that if Donald Trump hadn't gotten reelected, I don't think that this sort of thing would have come to pass. The world is waking up to the fact that we have a new American president coming in who's going to rebuild, reestablish, restore, and do all the things in terms of American power around the world and American strength and projecting that. And the bad guys around the world are seeing it and are reacting as a result. With regard to Israel, we need to make sure that the security and safety of the people of Israel is preserved long-term. And to me, that means Hamas cannot be able to be rebuilt. We know that Iran continues to fund Hamas. Iran is somewhat on the back foot right now, and I think it's going to get a lot worse for them with Donald Trump in the White House. But right now, I think the people of Israel can breathe a sigh of relief that with Donald Trump in the White House, they're going to have America standing side by side with them.
Well, there's no question about Mr. Trump in the White House and a whole new policy. But I want to ask Senator Barrasso, because part of this deal, the so-called Phase 2, Israel has to remove its troops from Gaza, and Hamas will be left there. And we're seeing newspaper reports, you probably saw them too, I believe it was the front page of the Wall Street Journal today, yesterday, the day before, other outlets. Hamas is rebuilding. They're re-energizing. Sinwar's brothers coming in to take the leadership. If the IDF is out of there, Hamas is going to be there. I worry that the war not only goes on, but, you know, it's like, I don't know, 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards, or 1 step forward and 2 steps back. I can't figure it out, Senator. I was hoping we would just unleash the IDF for 6 months and finish the whole bloody job in Gaza. You know, that's what Pete Hegseth said yesterday in his hearing. But this deal doesn't seem to support that. So I'm just asking you, you probably know a lot more than we know.
Well, I agree with you, Larry. Hamas has to be eliminated completely, or you have to worry about something happening again like what happened 500 days ago on October 7th with the Hamas invading Israel and the massacre that occurred. That can never be allowed to happen again. And the only way I see that happening is with a complete destruction of Hamas.
Do you think this deal promotes a complete destruction of Hamas? Or let me ask, you know, let me add the question, perhaps there are things we don't know about, perhaps there are plans we don't know about, but, you know, on the surface, prima facie, it just doesn't sound like it.
Well, I share your concerns. We need to make sure we get all of the hostages back. We need to make sure Hamas is never able to attack again. And when you talk about what's in the detail, you're making assumptions that Hamas will follow what is in a deal, and I don't trust them that far.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100% on that one. Absolutely, sir. I appreciate it. All right, Senator Barrasso, let's move on to sunnier thoughts right now. Let's see. Energy Secretary to-be Wright had his hearing today in the Senate. Mr. Trump is going to overturn every single these crazy climate change, radical Green New Deal regulations. What can you tell us about that? I mean, I think I was talking to Marsha Blackburn, Senator Blackburn, I think it was yesterday. He may put out 100 regs on Inauguration Day, Monday, January 20th. He may wind up putting out 1,000 regs. What do you think about all that?
Well, President Trump and Republicans are going to make America energy dominant again, which is good news for American families who will see this fact that they will save money on energy, heating their homes, driving their vehicles. Look, Larry, energy was on the ballot this year on Election Day, and American energy won. If you want to have a strong, healthy, and growing economy, you need affordable energy. Affordable energy is right there for a strong economy, for a strong military. And I'm from Wyoming. Wyoming is America's energy breadbasket. America is a world energy superpower. We just haven't acted like it for the last 4 years. We're going to act like it again. I think President Trump, day one, is going to sign enough executive orders, a blizzard of executive orders, taking the handcuffs off of American energy, getting rid of the EV mandates, the EV tax credits, all of those sorts of things, and getting rid of this ridiculous moratorium on the exploration and the ability for us to send overseas to our allies natural gas, American energy, because energy is known as the master resource for a reason. It powers our economy, powers our military. It's good American jobs. Affordable energy is the key to a future.
You know, I mean, the Biden extremism on blocking out fossil fuels and trying to promote these electric cars and mandated and emissions, tailpipe emissions. They tried hard to persuade us. But if you look at the story, and you know this well as anybody, fossil fuels are still 80% of our energy. They're still 80% of our power. After all this money that's been spent, after all the rhetorical nonsense, after all the half-baked lies that we've been told, the fact remains the energy is crucial. And I dare say I think base load, Senator Barrasso, is going to be some combination of natural gas and nuclear as we go forward for the next 50 years, maybe for the next 100 years.
Well, I agree. You know, President Trump has put together an all-star team for his cabinet. We had the hearings today on Chris Wright for the Secretary of Energy. Doug Burgum will be there tomorrow in the Energy Committee as Secretary of the Interior. Lee Zeldin will be there for the EPA. They're going to put together an energy commission, a national energy commission that's going to be able to oversee energy, oil, gas, electric power, all of those things. And this is going to be American energy jobs. We do it cleaner and better than anybody else in the world. And that's why America energy, the master resource, it is there to power the country into the future.
It'll promote more growth and less inflation. How about those apples? Doesn't get any better than that. More growth, lower inflation. We like that. Last one, Senator Barrasso. No blank check for California. I mean, federal government will try to be, and Republicans running the federal government now will try to be humane and helpful and provide emergency assistance. But, if Governor Gavin Newsom and the California Democrats continue their policies, which are related to climate, empty reservoirs, empty fire hydrants, bad forest management, bad water management, bad power management. I mean, it's going to cost you $250 billion, maybe more before it's all said and done. You're right, no blank check. They've got to show legislative, in the hard print of daylight, they've got to show you that something's changed before the taxpayers give them all the money.
Well, it is heartbreaking what we're seeing happening right now in California, and we have our Wyoming National Guard there helping out, manpower as well as equipment. But there's going to be help from the federal government. You're absolutely right. There has to be accountability for that money. It cannot be a blank check. What we've seen, and even the fire chief of L.A. County has said that they were let down by the mayor, the elected officials. I mean, gross negligence at the state and local level, where the fire department had $17 million taken away from their budget, and they were already stretched too thin, and they used the money for social programs. You see now that the governor took $100 million away from forest management to be used for other things. So, I have a bill, a Wildfire Prevention Act. We got it through the Senate Energy Committee last year, unanimous, bipartisan. That sort of thing needs to be attached to any sort of money heading to California so we can prevent something like this from ever happening again, because the people of California were absolutely failed by their elected officials in Sacramento as well as in L.A.
Yeah, Senator, I pray for the people in the Los Angeles area. I pray for them. I truly do. But I also pray that Gavin Newsom, state and local officials will come to their senses, because you're going to give them all this money and something's got to change. This is almost an apocalyptic event here. It actually could have an unbelievable change in California politics. And I think you and others can help that change in California politics. Carrots and sticks. It's an old-fashioned idea. Carrots and sticks. Anyway, Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso, thank you, sir.